I will suck Kevin off right now. Fuck you, Tony Stark.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you, Tony.
Yeah, fuck you and your dead body. Hello. Well, I hope you guys can hear me. Well, today, it's just your boy. It's just me. Today I am. So yeah, today it's just me. Gonna be kind of a short episode, maybe 10-15 minutes. Just to keep the algorithm alive. For those of you that have been listening since day one, you know that we may not be super consistent, but both of us are really busy. And it's the holidays, it's just that time of year, and I wanted to put something out for the algorithm. That being said, there is a good reason that Elijah isn't here. He had surgery just a couple days ago. And there were some complications. I don't know if you would want me to share this, but I think it'll be okay. So he had surgery to get a rib removed. He wouldn't tell me why, but I think that we all know. So yeah, and the complications came when he tried to do a little self-sucky when the healing hadn't even started. He woke up, the nurse left the room, and he was like, hey, I want to see if I got that Glock 10,000. And when I walked into the hospital room, let's just say he was successful. Okay? But also hurt. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't think that we really need anything more than that information. So I'll just let that be with him. Maybe when he's back next week, he can share if he wants to. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But since I'm riding solo, it is going to be just me. I want to talk about some stuff that I have going on in my life. I'm a big fan of the tiki-taki, okay? And one thing I see a lot of on TikTok is different states' Department of Transportation accounts. So the Utah DOT, Washington, Minnesota, a lot of those states that kind of have a little bit of winter weather. And these accounts lately have been posting about their plows and how well their plows plow the roads. And being a Colorado native, I was like, wait a fucking minute. Our plows here in Colorado the last couple years have been non-existent, okay? I guess it depends on the county, but Arapahoe and Denver County, and occasionally Douglas County, the few counties I regularly transport myself in my car, which is, I'll be honest, not a great car. It's an 06 Acura TL, okay? Type S. Not a huge deal, but it fucking sucks in the snow because it is. I do have a manual transmission, and people are like, well, it's front wheel drive. And I'm like, yeah, but it's also a super light car with a V6 engine. So even when I'm just releasing off the clutch, my tires start spinning, okay? That's not me trying to say like my car's hot shit, because it's not. My car's a piece of shit, okay? Anybody who's been in my car will be like, yo, how long you had this thing? And I'm like, I don't even know anymore. But last week I cracked 250k miles, all right? So that's where we're at with my car. But I've also lived in Colorado my whole life, and I know how to drive in the snow, okay? I'm worried about other people, not me. But yeah, back to the tiki-taki. I was like, man, I never see Colorado Department of Transportation, the CDOT videos. So I looked up on TikTok, and I found the Colorado DOT, baby. And I was like, oh shit. Time to have a little bit of fun with this. So I started making trolley / passive aggressive comments on their TikToks because they're non-existent out here, okay? Like, our road care is dog shit in the wintertime. But one of these TikToks was I guess that CDOT, Colorado Department of Transportation, names their quote unquote names their plows. And this TikTok was about the Snotorious BIG. Okay. So 5 days ago, we kind of had a little bit of a winter storm. It was crazy. You know, it was part of that shitstorm that hit the whole country. You know, the reason of Southwest's downfall. Which, the side thing we may talk about next episode is, are we watching the downfall of an airline live? Which is crazy. But anyways, that storm hit on Thursday. And the day of, they posted this TikTok where it was like, getting Snotorious ready to plow the roads, like, ... And it was just them putting the Snotorious BIG sticker, like, on there. And me, kind of being a little bit of a smartass, I commented, because I was like, hey, you know, it's kind of fun because everyone agrees that these Colorado roads are dog shit with even like an inch of snow. So I commented, these plows must be really elusive. I didn't see a single one on the highways prepping for this storm, winky face. And I was like, huh, that's kind of funny. You know, whatever. But earlier today, literally today, they replied. And I was like in my work truck with one of my coworkers, because I told them about like my plan to like, passively aggressively comment on their TikToks. And they replied, try using the plow tracker feature on CO Trip next time. It tells you where all of CDOT's plows are working, so you don't have to go out and search them for yourself, winky face. Which I was like, oh my god. It is kind of funny that they replied to my comment with another passive-aggressive comment. And I was just like, holy shit, this is actually fucking hilarious. So, any of our listeners, go do that. Because I want to see if they will maybe change their ways. You know, doubtful, but hey, you know, a couple passive-aggressive comments, kind of funny, if I'm being honest. You know? But shit, I just thought that was fucking funny, you know? Like, I can't believe that they actually replied to me. Because I was just doing it to try and make some jokes. I'm a jokester, you know? I'm like Loki, little mischievous. But yeah, anyways, that was just kind of something funny that happened to me that I figured you guys would like to know about. But another thing I kind of want to touch on, which would kind of be fun to talk about with Elijah here, and maybe we'll get into a little bit more of it on the next episode. But for past listeners, I did almost fully caught up on Titans, and I'm going to say I was wrong. It has gotten very good. I think I have one episode left before the part 1 finale. Or the episode I have left is the part 1 finale. Part 1 finale, excuse me. But yeah, Uh, Spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it, or if you care. There's a scene where they have to deal with magic. Um, and the Titans go to Star Labs because there's this magical snake running around that they have to try to. They don't want this snake to get to Brother Blood, essentially. And so like, all right, we're gonna lock Brother Blood and Raven in this room because they kind of have a thing because they both share something with Trigon. They're both children of Trigon, essentially. And the snake attacks Superboy, and he had previously been stabbed by a knife. I'll get into it with Elijah, I'm sure. He shouldn't have been stabbed because there was no mention of kryptonite being on the blade. But there was mention of magic being in the area. And comic fans know that one of the super family, I guess, one of their weaknesses is magic. And they had Jinx with them. So maybe it was because just the magic in the area? I'm not sure. But anyway, this snake attacks Superboy, right? And ends up getting like inside of him and starts to take him over, and he starts to act all funky, as well, this next little rant is going to be all about superhero tropes. But there is a thing in superhero movies and TV shows when something bad happens to a character, a different character is like, "Hey, are you okay?" And they blatantly lie about, they're like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little, had some bad sushi." Or whatever the fuck they want to say, whatever their excuse is. And it's like, bro, why the fuck do you not just tell them? Be like, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't warn you earlier, but like in Superboy's case, like, yo, there's a fucking snake inside of me, bro." You know? But, and that got me thinking. I was like, damn. There is quite a few, like, superhero tropes in TV shows and movies that, for me, honestly, I'm getting a little bit tired of. So I, dug down into my brain and I was like, And for those of you that don't know, my brain is, let's see, it's just a smorgasbord of white girls, comic books, hip hop, and alcohol. That's like literally my brain, okay? And so I started thinking about, I reached into that smorgasbord and I was like, what are some other superhero tropes that I've seen recently, right? And one of the ones that I came up with was um, the villainous family member testing the hero's resolve, which is so common. Literally, give me a superhero TV show, and I will give you that. And the one that came to mind was in Hawkeye, Kate Bishop's mom working with Kingpin, who was doing it to just test her daughter, And it's just so cliche in these superhero TV shows. I mean, in the majority of the CW shows, you'll have that character. Maybe not necessarily a blood family member, but definitely a person close to the hero that is evil, testing them. Because it's just like, I don't know, I'm fucking sick of it. And like, in the moment, whenever I see it in a TV show, just like with She-Hulk, I was like, this is cool. But then when I think about it, I'm like, this is kind of dog shit, But yeah, another one that I thought of was villains with good intentions that get slapped with a label. Immediately, Killmonger comes to mind, you know. And when Black Panther came out, I was like, damn, this guy's kind of fucked, And I feel the same way when I watched like Attack on Titan, like the final parts. I was like, damn, Aaron's kind of fucked, And then like Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out, and it was Carly Morgenthau, or however the fuck you say her name. It's like anarchist, and it's like, bro, Like with Falcon and Winter Soldier, like she's just trying to give these people homes, bro. Like I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. And with Killmonger, it was like, hey, we need to give these underprivileged people weapons to fight back. And in Attack on Titan, it's like, hey, these people from my life and the generation before me have just been fucking with me, and I don't give a shit about them. And as the world has progressed, I've leaned a little bit more into their ideologies, if that makes sense. I think most listeners of the show will know where both Elijah and I sit at politically, and that the world is fucked, especially if you've listened to the last 2 episodes. And I don't think any of these villains are wrong in their approach at this current point in time. But they have to make them seem bad with that label of, obviously with Attack on Titan it is bad because it's like a literal genocide. But like Carly and Falcon and Winter Soldier getting hit with that quote-unquote anarchist was bad. And I think that the majority of underprivileged people should rise up, just like Killmonger wanted. But that was, those are just a couple things. And then another thing I thought of was the villains with little to no depth. And I thought of What If, with Ultron. In a way, as good as What If is, question mark, I'm pretty sure they're doing a second season. They almost feel empty. And the biggest one would have been with Vandal Savage in the first season of Legends of Tomorrow. For those of you that haven't watched it, it's not a must-watch. But it is definitely a fun show. But a lot of these villains, they lack the depth that we get from like Namor in Black Panther even. Or I think you could make the argument for Wanda in Multiverse of Madness. Or Killmonger even, back to that. So I just think that some of these villains from these lackluster TV shows that, I'm not even going to lie, I still fucking watch, they just lack a little bit. And then the last and final thing, I'm going to be that guy, everybody. The dead parents. This has been done over and over again, and there's so many heroes that have a bad parent or bad parents, or dead, rather, is what I should say. But I think the biggest one is in the CW's The Flash TV series with Barry Allen's dead mother. It has literally become, I don't know, I'm not even gonna lie, I haven't watched the newest season, and I have zero plans to, because of like, I think everybody agrees with me, the show went to fucking shit. But yeah, like I'm tired of that, because too much focus is put onto that dead parent, and that being the reason. The only superhero I will let that slide with is Batman, because he invented that goddamn superhero trope. Okay, everybody? Batman invented the dead hero trope, or the dead parents trope, and nobody will fight me on that. Okay? Oh, shit. But yeah, just a couple things I wanted to rant about on our little holiday special, if you will. Everybody, check out the YouTube, the Discord. We'll be back next week with a great episode, I promise. Yeah, it's just me this week. Riding solo. I'm riding solo. Yeah, everybody check out the socials and the links below. And yeah, everybody, thanks for listening. Peace out.